Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. My project today is a Oreo cookie box. It opens like this, and inside I have the 2-pack of Oreos. Now I know my wholesale club, usually the big box clubs, has them in the orange for Halloween. I didn't see them yet, but they usually do get them soon. But if you're giving it to somebody that is in your family or friends, then you can just wrap up the Oreos in a cello bag and put them in. But if it's for trick-or-treaters, most of the time, if it's not wrapped, the mom and dad tell them to chuck it. But I got these from Dollar Tree. There's 4 of them in a pack for $1.25. And they're all current. I always make sure I check the dates, but I haven't had any outdated stuff from them, so that's encouraging. But I think it's just about the same size that fits in there. The box measures 3.5 by 2.5 by 1. And you can also put some fun size goodies in there too. Or some of the little toys with the stretchy skeletons and things like that. I used the Scary Cute stamp set for the little vampire guy, and the sentiment, and the Scary Silhouette dies. I also used some of the Black and White Designs DSP and a piece of the Gorgeous Grape Brights Designer Series paper. I would have rather have had the polka dotted one because these are the lines, but I was out of that, so I just used this one. I started out using a piece of just Gorgeous Grape, but I needed it to have some type of pattern in the background that was light. Alright, so what we need today is a piece of basic black cardstock that is 7.5 by 6. We need a piece of pumpkin pie, that's the mat, which is 2 by 3. Of the Black and White Designs DSP, we need 2 pieces that are 2.25 by 3.25, 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 3.25, and 2 pieces that are 2.25 by 3/4. Okay, and then the stamping, which I already did because I did it. I don't have my Stamparatus yet. Hopefully it'll come next week. But I did use it on my old Falling Apart other brand one that I got a million years ago, but I can still get it to work. So I stamped the little guy on the DSP, which is particularly hard because it's not as smooth as the basic white cardstock for stamping, but I did it with Tuxedo Black Ink and I stamped it 3 times. Okay, so if you have the Stamparatus or something similar, that's the best way to get this nice on the DSP. And when I get it, I will demonstrate how to use the Stamparatus too. Okay, so this piece is the Brights DSP, and it is Gorgeous Grape, and it's 1 3/4 by 2 3/4 this way. All right, so let's start with my piece of basic black, 7.5 by 6. And we're going to put the 7.5 inch at the top to start, and we're going to score at 1, 3.5, 4.5, and 7. Then turn it to the 6-inch side, and we're going to score at 1, 4.5, and 5.5. Okay, this isn't too difficult of a box, so you could make a bunch of these if you wanted to for your trick-or-treaters, people in your office. Okay, so how we have it, there's a skinny rectangle on the top and on the right hand side. And this is what we're going to do. Alright, so we're going to start on the lower left, and we're going to go to the first score line and cut it to the first score line, and wedge a little piece out of each side. Go to the next score line, cut it straight to the first score line, next score line, cut it straight to the first score line, and then wedge each side of the square. Go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge up into the skinny rectangle above it. And that's our first side. Now we're going to turn it 180, and we're going to start on the left again. What we're going to do is count 2 score lines and then cut up to the second score line. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 little pieces here. We're going to get rid of all of those. Then we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, get rid of this rectangle, the bottom, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, get rid of this rectangle on the bottom, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, and that's what it should look like so far. Then we're going to take our corner rounder and we're going to round both sides of this flap. Okay, and then you need a small circle punch, and we're just going to take a little partial circle off of this back, and that will be the thumb grip to make it easier to open. And usually I put the box together before I put it together, but just because we have this thumb grip, I want to take it out of the DSP also. You could also wait to do the thumb grip until you put this piece on. So we're going to put one of the pieces that is 2 1/4 by 3 1/4 on the side that does not have the flap. Okay, get that on there. And then just either do it for the first time or just cut it again. Okay. Alright, so this is what your cardstock should look like after you're done cutting it and scoring it and cutting it. Alright, now I'm going to get some tear and tape, and I'm going to put it on what's left of the skinny rectangle, except I forgot here. Go to the top next to the where you put this little grip, and just take a little bit off of the top, a little wedge off the top of the skinny rectangle. You don't have to do it, but sometimes when you put your box together it will stick up a little bit. That's why we take that wedge. Okay, now we're going to put our tear and tape on what's left of the skinny rectangle close to the score line. And I'm going to take the backing off. And we're going to flip over our project and then flip the side with the tape, flip the other side to meet it. Okay, so this is the back of our box. So I'm going to put the flap in there. I'm going to put the sides and the back, and now this is where we're going to put some more tear and tape. I'm just going to do it quick and put a little bit of liquid glue. You could put tear and tape too. It's just that I didn't want to unroll it again. It rolled away. Okay. Okie dokie. So this is the back and this is the front. And now we need some more of our DSP. We're going to put the other piece of DSP that is 2 1/4 by 3 1/4 on the front. 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 3 1/4 on the 2 long sides, and the ones that are 2 1/4 by 3/4 on the short sides, and all with liquid glue. Okay. All right, now let's let that dry for a little bit, and we're going to go for, we would be doing the stamping of this. Okay, now again, this is a piece of Gorgeous Grape from the Brights DSP, and it is 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, and I used this stamp from the Scary Cute stamp set, and what I did was I put it in the middle, and his feet are about a 1/2 inch up from the bottom, right, which is pretty easy to do when you have the Stamparatus, because you just put your paper down and then you can measure it before your stamp has ink about where it's going to go. Okay, I will show you how when I get it. Hopefully I'll get it next week. Okay, so after that is Tuxedo Black Ink, and after we did that, I'm going to attach it to this piece of pumpkin pie cardstock that is 2 by 3. And remember, if you have the dots, one of the Gorgeous Grape left, I bet you that would look really cool too. Okay, while we're letting that dry, let's put our treat inside our Oreos. And we need our mesh metallic ribbon. And what we're going to do is just put our box on top of it. Make sure that's the top, yes. And I'm just going to let it go all the way around and then tie a bow on the top. And this is, you don't have to go all the way around if you don't want to. Oh goodness, my boxes. There we go. You could just tie a bow and stick it just on the top, or instead of the bats, you could put it over here, but I want it to go all the way around for this design. And I'm just going to tie a bow. Okay, and I'm just going to cut it just a little bit more. Okay. All right, and then we need some dimensionals. And I'm going to put one in all 4 corners and then one in the middle. If I didn't say it, I stamped this 3 times to get it nice and solid on the DSP. Okay, and then we're just going to, we're going to center this over the front paper. And then just put it. Now the middle one will go over the bow and it'll keep it from sliding all over, which is nice. Okay, I forgot to say also from the Scary Silhouette dies, I cut the moon out of crushed curry and 2 of the small bats out of basic black. Okay, now I have a scrap of Highland Heather. This one didn't work out. And I'm going to stamp Love at First Bite. That is also from the Scary Cute stamp set. Make sure there's no lines. I'm terrible with that. And then just stamp this. Good. Right, and then I'm using this die from the Scary Silhouettes dies. And I'm going to put it on there. And I'm just going to tape it. And I'm going to cut it. I'll be right back. Okay. And there's our sentiment. All right, and I'm just going to glue this. I'm going to have it so that his feet rest right on it and center it. Now I'm going to use my silicone mat, and I'm going to turn these 3 pieces facing, the right size facing up. Just going to put a little bit of glue on the mat, and we're going to use the not the pointy end, the sticky end of our Take Your Pick tool. First I'll put the moon, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on. I'm going to put the moon up in the top top left corner. And then I'm going to put the 2 bats, one right there, and one facing facing the other way over here. Okay, and then I'll just wipe this off. All right, so that's it so far. Okay, I'm going to take some Wink of Stella. Now, you could Wink of Stella the whole image if you want to, but I'm just going to put it on the bats and the moon, maybe. Okay, and for the final touch, I'm going to take some of the Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels, and I'm going to put a medium-sized one right down here on the sentiment, and then 2 small ones over here. Okay, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. It doesn't take too much time, and if you cut out a whole bunch at once, you can sit and watch TV and do it. If you have any questions, my email is below. The link to my blog, where you can find all the measurements if you didn't catch them here, and the link to shop. Don't forget, this is my host code. If you're going to purchase from me and purchase anything less than $150, please put that in, and I can send everybody a little something. All right, have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.